All right. Hi, everybody. So what we're here to talk about today is using our CareLogic documentation that we have built in a mental health file. So I know that there's some struggle with the service plan and the service plan review. So I am using a staff training, which is a profile built for trainings so that I can train you guys using a system that looks like yours with the same tabs and the same virtual look. I'm sure that all of you know that admission documentation, the consents and contracts and all of that is stored here. The assessment documents you can open from here or off your schedule, and all of our service plan documents are stored right here. The one that is being used for behavioral health services is the behavioral health service plan with review. It is a service plan document group, meaning it is two documents that are linked together so that they are easily found, and you can note that the review is attached to the actual service plan. So I'm going to open one right now. And this signature is the signature that is for the group. So if you think about this service plan group as a bubble that contains two bubbles, it has one bubble is the behavioral health service plan, and the other bubble is the review of the service plan. This is when you are totally done with your service plan and your review. This is the final signature that locks everything up. And each of these bubbles, you can have up to 2 service plans and up to 5 reviews. So you don't have to necessarily lock it until you have created what you're going to, your 2 service plans and any reviews that you're going to do with them. Now, I know that usually mental health files don't have reviews, so but the only way to make these complete is to actually create a review. It can be very short and very simple. So we'll start with a behavioral health service plan, and we're going to create the document. All right, the first section is just some basic information. This is going to be adult mental health. We'll say this is the initial. We're going to put a review out 6 months. And today's the 10th. Yes. So 6 months out is the projected review date. The cool thing about that is it's not locked in. That is a projected review date. And so you have a little flexibility. It doesn't end the plan on 9/10. And we put in here the strengths that you and the client have figured out together. And then we submit to the next module. This module is where you copy over the problem, the goal, and then figure out a way to make an objective that pulls in the problem and the individual's goal, but makes it measurable. So we're just gonna do the problem, because I want you guys to understand that I'm an expert on using the documents. I am not an expert on what you need to put in your documents. I feel like you guys know, and we have these handy dandy little, what Edith calls brain sparks. Problem statement pulled directly from assessment, use individual's own words, so that you can build the service plan to keep the golden thread that goes from assessment to the service plan to the service note. The problem, the goal, and the objective follows the client through all the documentation. And now, if there are two objectives, you could, like if you wanted to have the client reach a 2 from a 5 with anxiety, but you were also hopeful that you could work on some depression at the same time, because the problem is they have depression and anxiety. Their goal is, I want to live a better life. I'm struggling. The objective would be to reduce symptoms from a high number to a low number by whatever interventions that you're going to be using. But if you wanted to do an anxiety objective and then add also a depression objective, you can do that. It's not necessary. It's not mandatory. We're not going to add any more. And then we do our proving the medical necessity. We want to address the symptoms, improve functioning, and maybe reduce the symptoms or stabilize. Because not every service plan is going to have the same medical necessity. Hopefully, by your next service plan, you're going to be maintaining some goals and preventing decompensation and preventing necessity for more care. We're not going to add another problem, goal, and objective, although you can, if you would like. You can have 2 problems with 2 or 3 objectives for each problem. This is a very flexible document that allows you to really tailor it to what you and the client are doing. You want to work with the client in a way that you both can see the forward progress, and that the client is like, yes, that's really what I want. That's what I want to do. So that's why we built it the way that we did. I'm going to submit. And if we wanted to add additional problems or goals and objectives, you can. There can be 3 problems, 4 problems. There's a lot of room for problems and objectives and goals. If you select yes, there you go. You got a whole nother, you can do a whole nother problem, goal, and objective. But we're going to select no and submit. And this is where we do services and supports. And truly, the first test of this document is going to be the site review that's happening right now at Carleton. Because in the past, the site reviews have gotten some findings about our service plans, that they were not impressed, that they didn't have all the factors like frequency, duration, projected service duration. So session duration would be the number of minutes, and projected service duration is the number of weeks that you feel like it's going to take to meet the goal or the objective. So we're going to put in here individual, and we're going to do it 1 time per week, and it's going to be 45 to 60 minutes. We're going to do it for how many weeks is in 6 months? I don't even know. 16 weeks? Sure. And the responsible party, that's another one that was missing according to our site reviewer, that it wasn't, that we weren't making it clear who's responsible to make sure this happens. And we can say that not only is the therapist responsible, but the client is responsible to show up. And so you build them in there, and hopefully the thought is that as you're saying, you're responsible for this portion because I can schedule it and I can be here, but if you don't show up, then we're not going to make any progress. So that's the thought on that. We're going to have them go to groups, and they can do a group 1 to 2 times per week. It will be 35 to 40 minutes. We're going to do it for the 16 weeks. And then this is where you can say, well, maybe they're going to do a group that's with a QMHA, like a skill building group. So then it's the QMHA to make sure that the group occurs and the client to make sure that they're there. Then we'll put in here some reading and homework, and frequency will be weekly, and they will, I don't know, 60 to 90 maybe doing homework, and then they'll go out to 16 weeks, and the responsible party on that is going to be the client. Again, building in their responsibility, building them in to see that this is their treatment and that they have a say in it and that they are responsible for doing things to make themselves better. I don't know what else you guys would do, but I'm going to put in here skill building. And frequency, we're going to put as requested, because if the client is really stressing and wants an extra session, we want to let them know that they can do that. And then skill building could be anywhere. I don't know the exact amount of minutes, but I'm going to go 45 to 60. We're going to say that it's good through the end of the service plan. And on this, that's going to be the skill builder and the client. So again, the client has to ask for the help. And then in here, what are we going to put? I'm running out of ideas because I'm kind of nervous. I'm going to just type in there something else.
Peer support.
Do that 1 time per week too. And that could be 45 to 60 minutes. It's going to last the whole service plan. And it's going to be you and your client, again, that are responsible. We're not going to add any more because, like I said, I'm running out. I'm a little nervous. So, and we'll submit. And then we can add so many more services and supports that come in clumps of 2. You can, every time you add yes, it will give you 2 more. But we're not going to add any more. This plan is so customizable and so flexible, keeping in mind that we wanted you to feel able and capable to make a beautiful service plan. And you can see here that there's an error. Look, the trainer missed something. So again, I usually say start at the top, but I forgot to say that. And we're going to select the program, and we don't have the appropriate program, so I'm just putting RAC. Hopefully your client will already be in a mental health program and you won't have to wing it. So then when we get back to signatures, we are able to have the client sign if they are with us, or I still want you to, you should have a signature pad hooked up to your computer. It's still important that you click to sign, and really all you need to do is put an X on there. You can put an X or you can write the date in with the tiny pen, but really we want to get that service plan locked down. So unless you do that, then it's really not considered completely signed. And then we want to have me sign it, and then whenever you go to select a person, be sure that you're really noticing what you type in there, because there is a glitch that occurs when you save your password in the browsers. Like Chrome allows you to save all kinds of stuff and has autofill and all of that stuff. Well, there's a glitch that happens that it will auto-populate that next staff to sign with some random set of numbers, and that's a problem. So when I submit, okay, cross your fingers. Boom. All right. So now this goes to Edith. It will show up in her alerts in signed documents requiring second signature. We go along, la-di-da, happy, happy, happy. It's time for the client. It's the 6 months. It's time to open your second service plan. Now, I am a little uncertain how to go with this for you guys. You could either add another one here, or you could do the review here to close this service plan group and just do it pretty simply. We're not going to add any new problems to this. And you don't have to add an ASAM. If you did, it would pop up for you. Again, this document is so flexible and so amazing. And if you wanted to add any referrals that you have given to the client, like if you referred them over to, I don't know, housing or the HIV Alliance because they told you they were concerned or whatever, you can always add a referral here. It's not mandatory. You submit, and this is considered a done service plan at this point. As soon as Edith signs the other one and this one, because both of them need 2 signatures. So once Edith goes in and signs all of the service plan and the review, once Edith does the second signature and approves them, then you would lock this one by putting your name, submitting, or you could send it to Edith as well. I don't know who wants to do the final signature. In fact, Edith, maybe you could tell us who you would like to do the final signature.
So far, Sunny has been signing service plans and supports quite a bit because she's got a license. I've been signing the service conclusion summaries, but she's been signing these pieces.
Okay. So we would put Sunny for the third signature, and once the other signatures were put on this, then you could sign off that final signature, and then this would say fully signed once that third signature is on there. This one.